Congratulations, viewer! You have been selected to watch Tinker Tailor Solder Fry here on the mighty Loading Ready Run Video Entertainment Network. I'm Ian.
I'm Cameron.
And we're, well, for lack of a better description, this is the Let's Try program that we do here, where we try to do projects, crafting, cooking.
Derp or derp not.
Yeah.
There is no try.
Various levels of success, some much more successful than others.
Well, I mean, I've been working on this for like a year now.
Wow. It'll be a good question. Who will finish first, the Dreamcast or the figures?
Ooh, yeah.
And I think we're actually pretty much on par at this point, I think.
Well, I've still got like 60 miniatures to paint.
Oh, okay. I thought this was what was left.
No. Oh, heavens no.
Oh, wow. Okay.
No.
That's going to be a while then.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, like, the player character miniatures are the ones I'm spending a lot of time on. The monsters can...
Just plastidip them?
There actually is a painting school for, I think it gets used by a lot of Warhammer players, colloquially known as Warhams, who, dipping, if you're playing like Tyranids, which are like this army of science fiction bugs, and you have 180 miniatures to paint, you can actually dip your miniatures in paint, knock them off, like flick the paint off, dip them in like a stain. There are kits for this.
Huh.
The effect is actually not that bad.
I mean, for a non-clothed bug race, that probably seems like the most efficient way to do it too.
If you're playing undead and need hundreds of skeletons, works. Yeah.
That, or we could probably go late. Actually, that might be fun to try. Is do some of that pattern painting, the ones where you lay down a pattern in paint on top of water, and then dip the thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know how that worked.
No, and
I just saw people doing stuff like that, and it made me angry. Didn't make any sense to me.
Why did that come out with a pattern on top the same way it was on the water?
Yeah.
What sorcery is this? Today,
kids these days.
Kids and the manufacturing industry. Today, I'm going to be putting together a keg washer for home brewing. It's something I should have made a long time ago, but didn't realize was a thing you could make until very recently.
Has our keg ever been washed then?
Oh, yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah, but by hand the hard way.
Right.
You know, elbow greased with a little scrubbing pad, just getting in there, elbow deep. No, what we're going to do is we're going to create something that I can just put the kegs and, most importantly, the carboys I use to brew the kegs in. Just stick it on top and let it go for 5 minutes and have them just be clean. And to do that, we're going to need a number of things. I'll post in the forum a few of the instructions I've used as a base for this. But I'm just basically freeforming this one for myself because I figured you could do it. So what you're going to need for this is, first and foremost, a water pump, which you can purchase at your local discount hardware store. This one is from Princess Auto. They suggest you get something that's going to have a fair number of gallons per hour. I think they suggest over 1,000 or so. And this one is a 1/6 of horsepower pump. So let's get that open. Submersible pump. This one I like because it was cheap.
It's a good reason to like things.
Yeah, they're more expensive than I thought they would be. But should do the job. The nice thing about this one, though, is that it has a garden hose attachment on it, which should make it pretty easy to actually to attach things to. So
that was good. That was good, Beach.
Been practicing.
Not bad.
What we're gonna we've got this. Let's go over some of the other parts that I picked up as well that we're gonna need. You're gonna want a bucket. You can get them at Lowe's. Other hardware store buckets are available.
Has a bucket?
Yeah. You're gonna want probably about 5 gallons or so.
No, my bucket.
I think this one is 5 gallons, but you can generally use these for brewing in as well if you don't want to use, a larger tub. Boop. And a lid is another thing you're going to want, because you're going to want to be able to have something to support the keg or the bottle on, rather than just have it resting on the top of the pump and the various other pieces. This is a 4-inch to 4-inch clay to PVC coupler. And the purpose of this is actually to provide sort of a funnel to go into the bucket. What we're going to do is we're going to cut a hole in the top of the lid with a size large enough to get up to the angle of it. And this is big enough. It says 4-inch to 4-inch, but really it's 5 inches on the top. And that's going to be big enough for the aperture of kegs to get into. And apparently, the rubber is sized such that it will just hold the keg in place nicely too, and give things a way of running inside. Additionally, a few other pieces of equipment we will need. You're going to need some sort of a chrome butt plug, as B just mentioned. That actually being, this is a garden hose to 1/2-inch thread adapter. Sorry?
I just said chrome butt plug, and you said this is a garden hose to...
Something adapter. I was like, well, that's ambitious. I mean, I'm not gonna yuck your yum, but
you know,
I think that's how you wind up with water poisoning.
If your butt is threaded, you may have different issues.
I mean, compatibility issues.
You want to make sure your ass threads meet up with your other threads. We also got a thread. So this is the 1/2-inch thread to 1/2-inch PVC adapter. So that goes like that. And then a 1/2-inch PVC to threaded adapter for the final piece of equipment, which is this stainless steel rotating ball washing aperture.
That seems like special equipment.
It is a bit special equipment. This is not necessarily completely necessary. This is something you can, it's optional, but it's only about $20, and I think, I'm going to be testing it today, but I personally think it's going to be worth the extra cost.
Where do you get it?
This one can be purchased at banggood.com.
So you get a ball washer at Banggood?
Yes.
Okay.
Go to Banggood to get your balls washed.
Let's just pause while Cam takes a drink of water.
We all got there, everyone.
Oh yeah, and you're going to need some lengths of PVC pipe. So what we're going to do here is find out, first of all, let's start by just cutting the hole in our lid. So that's going to be a difficult journey. Are you okay, Cam?
Getting there, yeah,
Okay.
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing better now.
Good.
We've gone over the initial bits here. Ooh, I didn't have a look at the bottom of my pump. There's just enough room for water to seep through there. Perfect. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to lay out our cutting mat, and then we're going to find roughly the center line on this adapter, and we'll just draw a circle around it, around the edges, that we can then freehand with our razor. Let's get that around there. And make sure we're actually making a mark. All right, that's a circle. Let's get to the cutting. All right.
I really need to make the lighting a lot more dramatic for these miniatures, because the studio lights produce very high contrast on their own.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't actually show subtle details. Subtle details get washed out. I think I just need to go ham here.
Just make them look full on Technicolor?
Basically.
This is my least favorite form of cutting. Freehand circles. Because because I'm always questioning whether or not I've got the curve right.
Just cut many tangents.
That's one of the reasons why I like computer-aided.
This is why you said we should get a laser cutter.
Yes, this is one of the many reasons why I think we need a laser cutter in this office.
To melt plastic.
Now, that also doesn't negate my further desire for a CNC machine.
So we can do our own CNC fails?
Oh yeah, that would be great.
I also voted for that laser cutter. I don't know why they won't give us one.
The laser cutting company. I don't think they're a democracy. Although, how cool is it now that we have a car in space?
I don't have a car in space.
I mean,
Not impressed.
I think it's just so that they can make another Fast and Furious movie. And that's it.
I mean, now that we've fired Elon Musk's car into space, how long until we can fire a guillotine into space too? You know, as long as we're just like doing vanity projects.
Trim that out there. There we go.
But Ian, would you like a block of wood to be doing your work on?
No, not yet. This should be fine so far. But I'm really happy so far with that the edge of that circle.
We found a plank.
Hey!
Plank of pine.
Like, maybe we could, like, is the car going to be part of the Elysium station?
I mean, see,
To the outside.
that's the question I never got answered before I actually watched, was if the car was full of all the batteries and whatnot necessary to have it be a functioning car, or if it was just the shell.
They needed a 1,000-pound payload, right?
Okay.
So
Just to test?
that was the idea, and he was like, "Fuck it, put my car in there."
Oh.
So if you assume I'm about to get yelled at.
You either talk into a mic
Yeah.
or not at all.
Okay.
Molly, I do appreciate that the car did not drive into space on its own power.
Also, what number of mic did I give you? Because I was angry and I didn't look.
Number one.
No fair.
I wanted to be player one.
Favoritism.
I needed a safe mic.
All right, that's perfect.
All right.
Next up, actually, yeah, that plank would, plank me
A
up.
wide plank of pine.
Okay, and if you got a 2x4, that would be great too.
Maybe. If you assume that it only needed to be 1,000 pounds, they probably pulled all the batteries out.
Yeah, because I assume a Tesla weighs a ton with all of its batteries.
Yes. Do you want to clamp it to the table?
No, this actually won't help me at all.
All right. Well, that was fun.
I mean,
Thank you.
more than a literal ton, I guess, is really what I'm getting at.
Did you want to work on?
Oh,
no, I'm
okay.
good. Thank
You.
You want a 2x4?
Oh, yes, please.
I'll see what I can find.
Actually, don't even worry about it. We don't need it.
Great.
I'll just use this.
Are we the WrestleMans now? Is that why we need a 2x4?
No, I was just something to so that I could saw against without having a feeling worried about going into the table.
Fair.
What?
But next step, we need to
Release.
find out
That's why I
how.
didn't want to give you a mic.
Yep.
Next step, we need to measure how far up the barrel we want to go. So, for that, let's get the pail up here, and let's do some test fittings. Let's get this on there. No reason for that to ever come off, actually. So,
Speaking of Elon Musk, I heard that great joke about the reason that he was selling flamethrowers was that they were the most humane way of dealing with people who had had their lungs ripped out by the Hyperloop.
wow, Elon, you so problematic. companies that make good things.
I mean, when it comes to billionaires who have just wild out there ideas,
Yeah, I mean,
I trust him more than I trust a lot of other billionaires. But I would also never elect him to like lead any part of a country.
no. No.
No, you do not want business people in government.
No, I hope everyone's starting to find that.
Jeez, like church and state was bad enough. We need to separate church and capitalism.
State and
state and capitalism.
Well, you're not wrong, Ian.
Well, yeah, that too. Yeah.
Anyway, enough about that, Doug. So a couple things that I realized that we're going to have to do here is we're going to have to cut a notch out of our bucket. Probably in the lid, I think makes the most sense for our power cord. And then probably later for some other hoses that I may want to add in the future.
Hoses.
now-
Hoses.
Holes.
So, describe the operation.
Well, what's going to happen is the bucket is going to be full of well, not full, but, a few liters of cleaning solution. What's going to happen then is we're going to take our vessel that needs to be cleaned, turn it upside down over the pipe with this little guy inside it. It'll be inside the vessel.
I see.
And then it's just going to spray its water and spin around, making things very clean. The water will then flow back into the bucket to be pulled back up by the pump once more.
So it's a recirculating process of cleaning.
Exactly.
Okay. So you start with cleaning solution and maybe some water, you spray on the inside, and it takes some of the crud out, but it never gets so filthy that that you're just washing your keg with more filth.
Yeah, no, it's always going to be. I mean, this is some pretty alkaline cleaning solution that we use.
Neato.
Yeah, what do you use to clean a keg?
It's called powdered brewer's wash, but I'll find out what that actually is for you in just a moment when I have my device here.
I mean, I can look it up, Ian, if
Yeah,
you'd like.
please do.
Then you can get on with the
Thank you. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to actually just eyeball, because we've got a lot of extra pipe. I'm just going to eyeball how high up this needs to go. And we're going to do that by... Okay, so I think it's going to be about there, which means about here is where we're going to want to add the little nozzly bit. I think what I might end up doing is actually cutting different sized pipes too for carboys versus
Your big
actual
kegs.
kegs. But for now, I'm just going to leave a small mark here.
Those sweet, sweet carboys.
And then just get that out. Wow, I bought a lot of pipe that I didn't need.
I have a question from Tasman
Yes.
24 for both Cam and Ian. Since you both have enjoyed some nice brews, what do you typically look for in a beer before recommending it to someone?
Well, I tend to drink IPAs, and they are definitely not for everyone. They're very bitter, because I like beers that don't overstay their welcome. Basically, I like very astringent kind of IPAs with not a lot of maltiness,
Okay.
because I find the maltiness unpleasant.
Ah, okay. I tend to like a good malty beer, but I also enjoy a good IPA. Before I recommend a beer to a person,
Find out what they like.
yeah, I didn't ask them, because my number one favorite type of beer is a sour, which is definitely not for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. I occasionally like a sour. Occasionally.
And, it has to be a good sour, too, or of a certain type, because there are sours that can be quite fruity,
Yeah.
and there are sours that can just be straight sour.
And they're also quite expensive.
Yeah, but I think that may be more due to a supply and demand.
Yeah. fair.
They're starting to get much more popular, but they used to be very rare.
Question for Ian from Undertoast. If the water falls back, how do you ensure you're not pumping all the stuff you just tried to wash out back into the vessel?
Well, everything that comes out is going to be it will dissolve in what it is. So it's like a dishwasher in that essence. You know, you're going to be cleaning your dishes with soapy water that will get everything in it. And that's why after you're done getting the detritus off of the surfaces, then you rinse it, rinsing away any leftover detritus and also the soap itself. Let's get through there.
As far as I can tell, powdered brewery wash, which literally PBW.
Yep.
And looks like 5-star PBW. Originally developed by Coors.
Huh.
In fact,
Interesting.
it's now used in commercial breweries across North America. But it is a alkali cleaner that is still safe to use in plastic or on plastic, and also says that it's it's safe for plastic, it's safe for carboys, it's environmentally friendly and fully biodegradable. Mm-hmm. But there's no information on what's in it because it says non-hazardous. It's a buffered alkaline brewery cleaner, but it doesn't say anything about what's actually in it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's like an OxyClean style thing or if it's something different than that.
I'm very surprised. Well, if it's...
But it must be rinsed, it does say.
Oh, yes, definitely.
You don't want to drink any of this.
ArcLight tells us that PBW is 30% sodium metasilicate, and the rest is primarily percarbonate and sodium bicarbonate.
Sodium percarbonate. But not sodium perchlorate.
Well, perchlorate's dry cleaning.
Yeah, exactly.
No, yeah, you wouldn't.
And the...
Okay, like the sodium silicate sounds like a mechanical agent.
Like it would be used as to scour.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I don't know that I always get everything dissolved when I'm using it. And that if it's not supposed to all dissolve, then that makes sense. This is going very quickly, actually.
Nice.
Love to paint minis.
Cam,
Yes?
how do you like New England IPAs?
I am not actually familiar with them. Ian, do you know anything about New England IPAs?
I don't really...
I mean, we get West Coast IPAs
Yeah.
here, so I'm not actually that familiar with them.
I
What are they
can't-
like?
I'd like to find that information out as well.
I'm always curious to try new beers. I enjoy West Coast IPAs because they're bitter, they're hoppy, they're citrusy, with a bit of other kind of like fruit elements.
Where do I want to drill this hole? Well, not drill, but cut the notch out. Right here. Sounds good.
Okay.
They're like West Coast IPAs but with a bit of chowder. Chowder. Oh, percarbonate is apparently OxyClean. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Like I was looking at what PuroCaf is. It's a cleaner for coffee carafes and stuff like that.
Okay.
And it's like 30% hydrogen peroxide.
Yep.
Like it's powdered, but the moment you put it in water, it's like it's activated to turn to 30% hydrogen peroxide. I'm like, holy shit!
Yeah, that's serious business.
That's good stuff.
Like it's like, please do not make this more concentrated than it needs to be. But still, this is the amount you should be going for. I'm like, that seems a little dangerous. Holy crap! But yeah, apparently it makes your whites white.
Can we get Cam to tell us about what miniatures he's painting?
Okay. I am painting Silver Tower miniatures for Games Workshop's Silver Tower game. I'm currently painting the... what are they called? What is he called? He is the Hyperion Knight? The Knight Questor, apparently. Sorry, yes. And I've already painted the Excelsior War Priest and the what's her name? The Mistweaver. So
I've decided that rather than the
I was
small
quite happy
tail-
with how they turned out.
You look very good.
Thank you.
Dokie. I'm just going to cut along the pre-existing lines here to cut a notch out.
And for the Night Quester, I'm going for, or Questor. I guess we should overpronounce our words if we're being very dramatic with Games Workshop games. I've decided to go with a black armor, which I haven't done for a very long time. But it's tricky. Highlighting black is tricky. And I'm doing what you shouldn't be doing, which is highlighting through gray. You're usually supposed to highlight through, well, any kind of color, because gray winds up just looking dirty.
That was the question I was about to ask as a follow-up. Anytime I get the question, I hear the phrase, "You shouldn't X."
Yeah, but why?
Yeah.
Or grays can wind up looking dirty. Or just kind of like, they lack depth, I guess.
So do you use something like should you use like a dark blue or a purple?
Yeah,
or?
blue or a purple is usually what you see people use. I don't know why I decided to ignore that this time. I think I wanted these guys to look kind of bleached out, maybe. I think this setting is very, very extra. The Warhammer Fantasy Battle setting was mega extra, and then they blew that up and then just set it fully in a heavy metal comic. So I decided I wanted this guy just to look like a cartoon character, really.
Nice. You know what? I'm going to be right back. I'm going to put some water in this.
Nice.
Because I think
All
we're
right.
ready to actually test it.
Nice.
And then what I might do is actually do some experimentation. And one of the problems with, well, let me tell you about that when I get back from filling this with water. Don't go away. More Ian after this.
Also, camp's still here. You're not being left alone.
Yeah.
I remain. So, yeah, what's up, chat? AMA. What are the haps? I guess I'm volunteering Heather for
That's
chat
okay.
monitoring duty.
I have a mic. I can talk into it.
Thank you, Heather. I appreciate this. This is the joy of painting with... No, well, no. I feel like I should be feeding baby squirrels or being very calming. Bob Ross feeding baby squirrels was too much for me.
How much does all this painting stuff cost?
Hundreds of dollars. Literally. Good brushes are expensive. I think when I bought these brushes, they were in the neighborhood of $10 each, but if you take care of them, they'll last a decade.
So it's a thing of if you like, it's like any other good equipment. It's that good equipment is generally made to last as well.
Yes.
It's not just made for precision.
Yeah. Well-maintained brushes will treat you very well. They're worth it. They behave much better than cheap brushes do. They're like shoes. Get good ones. Shoes and tires, I guess.
And mattresses.
Yep.
Have you ever put together or painted a garage kit?
Not a garage kit, no. And what I understand garage kits to be are like Japanese home, kind of like cottage industry models.
In as much as they're like a interchangeable parts. So you might be like, I'm going to go buy a set of arms today, but I might
Oh,
decide
really?
to change it out for a different set of arms.
Okay, I'd always understood garage kits to be like basically like Gunpla that was produced by fans.
That's pretty much the case.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But they create like a bunch of aftermarket parts on top of that.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
that's the-
Some of them do.
Yeah.
Like the garage kit is mainly it's a small run model is usually the best way to look at it.
Okay.
Usually made from, rather than PVC.
Like vinyl?
Yeah, vinyl or oftentimes resin cast,
Yeah.
just because that's the what's accessible to people in that scale.
Yep. Resin produces some very nice models that are utter bastards to work with.
Yeah, exactly.
How long have you had your brushes, Cam?
2009 would probably be the newest. I haven't had to buy any in a very long time. I don't honestly remember, I guess, which is the best compliment I can pay them.
Yeah.
I don't remember when the last time was that I had to buy brushes.
They've
The
left-
Games Workshop ones were actually quite good. I was shocked.
If anyone's wondering why there's still some liquid in this particular carboy, actually I should take the second to talk about carboys as well. The reason there's liquid still in there is that I leave them with just a little bit of the star sand solution in them, just so that nothing will grow inside in the intervening way.
Star sand is?
Star sand is a sanitizing solution that you mix up and then spray on and don't have to rinse off, which is a key point in brewing. You can just leave it on and just kind of let it drip off. This carboy, though, you may note that it is very light, and that is because it's a Better Bottle brand carboy. And the reason I go for that rather than a glass one is the stories I've heard about glass carboys. To wash these, what I've had to do is you have to put them under the
Tap.
under the tap, add your soap or whatever, and just hold on to them, shake them around, and then dump them out. And then you've got to do that to rinse them as well.
Right.
If it's made of glass, and that glass shatters,
Yeah.
or just even breaks, that's very heavy, very large chunks of glass.
Yeah.
Which can then very badly slice up your hand or arms or anything as you instinctively rush to grab this large piece that's falling off.
Yeah, that sounds...
I've heard of people, or in forums, people describing the reconstructive surgery they've had to have done,
Yowza.
and I rely on my hands for my livelihood, so I thought, you know what, $30 for a plastic bottle is probably worth the peace of mind. But let's make it even easier to wash. Heck, I might even go back to glass at this point. As Carnival says, yeah, you only have to drop a glass carboy once to never trust them again. All right. Guys, I'm kind of excited right now. I'm just going to hold it in place because the handle, well, it should work without the handle. Let's see what happens, shall we? What I am going to do, though, is I'm going to hold my hand on top of this as I plug this in.
Just as blow the thing right off the top.
Exactly. That would be...
What is the PSI on this again?
Don't know. Lol. Here we go. Wow.
Gotta hand it to you.
That is going to make short work of anything that goes on in these.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's awesome.
Fucking rad.
Yeah, that's exactly the word I'd use for that. So I've heard people say that 5 minutes on these things. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to check again here, because I might not even need to hold my hand on that. Yep.
Nice.
I'm very pleased with that. Okay, I'm actually going to do a quick experiment on this then, because one of the problems that you get when you're brewing is the Krausenring, which is the Krausen is the dried muck from a beer when it's brewing. It's literally the foam and the yeast detritus that just, when beer starts brewing, it gets very, very active, and the foam just moves all the way up to a certain point where it then condenses as a ring, which is hell to get off of things. Usually you got to get a brush in there and work on it. It's not easy.
Is that what they send the apprentice brewmasters to do?
I think everyone has to get through that at one point, yeah. So what I'm seeing people do in some of their plans for these is drill some holes in the PVC to add extra sprays out the sides, right at where the Krausen would build up. So I'm going to, just add a couple holes in there and see what we can do. It's not like we don't have enough PVC pipe to go around to do this again. The other thing that they do, which I did not get the materials for this episode, is kegs come with a couple kegs have special connectors, either ball lock or pin lock, depending on whether they're Coke or Pepsi based, respectively. But what you can do is add a junction on the pipe, usually closer down to the pump, and have a couple branches off the side to go into hoses that go into the connectors on the keg, so you can clean not just the interior of the keg, but also the lines and the gas line going into it. For just having that whole keg cleanliness.
I did not know that Coke and Pepsi actually had completely different infrastructure.
Yeah.
Conventions, I guess.
It kind of makes sense when you think about it.
But they probably one side patented one type of thing and was like, F you, the other side, and they're like, well, then we'll come up with our own.
Well, they want to lock you as the restaurateur in. It's like, oh, you're going to sell Coke? Good. All of your infrastructure is now for selling Coke.
Yeah.
You cannot switch to Pepsi without buying all new equipment. Or as it turns out, just tiny little connectors. But yeah, the home brewing industry just really loves those old pop kegs. Cornelius kegs, as they're known, or corny kegs.
TIL. Right.
Let's just use the pipe we've got in there right now and do some eyeballing here. I would say that just... Oh yeah, just under the connection is where I'm going to put those holes. I'm actually really surprised that the system works so well with just pressure fitting the pipe in too. I was expecting to have to
thread it, put a ring in.
Well, to
fight it a little bit.
Both these sides are just pressure fit. I was expecting I would have to actually glue it down and just have the whole thing shoot off inside the keg, but that did not come to pass.
It's too bad. That would have been really exciting.
Yeah. All right.
What? I'm here for the good entertainment, not for whether or not it works out for you.
Too bad you didn't fail, Ian.
Yep, too bad. Oops, I succeeded again. That's a rare time I get to say that.
So how long were you putting this off at home?
How long have I been putting this off?
Yeah.
I have not. This has probably been on the Tinker Tailor list for, I'd say, about at least 6 months.
Wow.
And I've been...
In the intervening time, have you been like, damn it, I wish I'd built that keg washer?
Well, no, because I've been off my home brewing as well.
Oh.
I think it's been at least 6 months since I had a brew going, and we have one going now, which is great because it's about to come out.
Yay.
Which means I'm going to need to do a serious amount of cleaning on my primaries and secondaries, and this is going to and the kegs themselves, because I generally just let them sit in the fridge.
Do you wash them every time?
Yes, everything gets washed every time. Everything gets washed every time. Everything gets sterilized every time. This is non-negotiable when brewing beer.
Yeah, I guess you're dealing with yeast. Like you're dealing with microorganisms.
Yeah, they like to they like to grow, and there are things that like to grow that shouldn't be there. Do we have a sacrificial piece of wood?
Maybe.
Or do I just need to drill off the side of the table?
Well, that big plank I gave you is actually literally for that.
Oh, that's sacrificial? Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like if you damage that table there's at least 3 people who are going to be very angry with you.
I don't know.
And definitely everybody in chat is going to tell on you.
So this is the lay third. This is the extra third that we had off of the workbench.
Okay.
And
so
that's what it's for. Is it was for you to use.
Great. Just a work surface for me to F
Yeah.
around on.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Do you want it clamped to the table at all?
Nope. This will be fine.
Okay.
All right. Just going to free hand this as well. As soon as I plug my drill in. Although, do I want to pilot a hole at all?
Yes.
I mean, the answer is yeah, generally yes. All right, let's mark out where we're going to go here. Right there. Let's see.
So explain this technique.
Straightish. That was something that just I guess came up with that seemed like it made sense, and it's relatively close enough.
So if you drill through one side, and if you were to drill around and drill through the other side.
Actually, what I need is a nail from the other room.
Okay.
Thank you. And I'll use that rather than using anything else. Let's use the right tools. Just doing this seemed to be... Does anyone remember the roller ruler?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't like mine.
I had such high hopes for it based on the commercials.
Yeah.
And it just never...
If they worked the way the commercials said that they should work.
Well, as it turns out, having a ruler that rolls, real bad for drawing straight lines. Like, draw a straight line.
And it wasn't that great for measuring distances either with the roller section.
Yeah.
Which was the other thing they really touted about it.
I like to use mine to roll my lip into.
I mean, I could have just learned how to use a triangle set. Right?
Would have also been just as fine. So the nice thing about drilling holes is that if I drill them straight and true, I don't have to... I just have to drill all the way through. So I only need to tap about 3 of these holes in. These seem fairly close to straight, so... Again, this is just experimentation. We have plenty of extras to deal with if we mess up completely. Okay. Is that... How is that? I think we want to go one size down on the bit.
I feel like the next step out of this is you take the, instead of a PVC pipe that's like this, somebody will have made like a stainless steel pipe that has holes popped in it in the right spots or in like maybe 2 or 3 different areas.
I mean, that's essentially what we're doing right now.
Yeah, but I can see somebody being like, I've made a custom pipe that's the perfect length for this, and like...
But that's not in the spirit of the show, Beach.
No, absolutely it isn't.
I mean, if we wanted to do that, I feel it would be appropriate just to like I went to a high school and stole somebody's flute from band.
I think like, we just renamed this show to Tinker Tailor Solder By.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, actually, how much did this project run you for like materials?
So everything excluding the pump came in under $40.
Wow.
And that was including $20 for the ball head piece.
Nice.
The pumps, depending on where you can get them, mine was $50.
Okay.
But I feel like this is going to, considering what I would value my time at, this is going to pay for itself very quickly. Usually I'm spending a couple hours each time I need to, each time I'm cleaning. So.
Well, yeah, cleaning the interior of one of these carboys is a nightmare.
Exactly. And there's a lot of lifting and shaking, which can be hard on my back if I'm not careful. Right.
Yeah, still under $100.
Yep. That's what matters. brewing can be a cheap hobby, but not always.
Like all hobbies, it can get up there.
Yeah. But the nice thing about it is that it's rewarding, because at the end, you get beer. And as long as you're clean, you're pretty much guaranteed for it to be at least okay beer.
Hmm. Have you ever had the experience of drawing your first test cup and being like, well, time to order some hops and invent the IPA?
Thankfully, no.
Okay.
I've had beers where I've questioned whether or not it's good, but, well, I mean, no one around here has complained to my face.
It's true. That came out way meaner than I thought. If you hadn't said to my face, then that would have been a perfectly polite thing to say.
Now, I would always appreciate legitimate feedback, but
No, I find your beers quite nice.
then that makes me extremely happy.
I don't like the taste of your beers.
That doesn't surprise me.
you at all.
My feedback is not important because I also do not drink it.
I'm going to add one more hole here.
What is the bacteria that makes beer go gooey?
Ooh.
I didn't know beer could go gooey. I don't think I much care for that. No, sir.
Oh yeah, infected beer is not a fun thing.
Well, yeah, because it's full of sugar and it, like, I mean, it's basically agar waiting to happen, right?
Yeah, you're literally just...
You're making a nutritious substrate for microorganisms.
You're just boiling sugar out of grain to make beer. All right, let's pass drill bit through here to clean up the inside. Serafina, I unfortunately don't... I've never brewed mead myself, so I can't really offer any advice. But try it. Just do it.
Not this color.
There we go. It's much cleaner in there. Yeah, countersinking these holes might not be a bad idea, but let's just clean them out with the nail first. Ugly, ugly, ugly holes. All right, let's see if that makes a difference at all. Let's tap that off. Just make sure that they're relatively clean. Put these back. Okay, a lot of people saying to use wine yeast, or wine or champagne yeast to brew mead. That makes sense.
Can you homebrew LaCroix? I mean,
don't we already? That's what a soda stream is, isn't it?
basically, yeah.
Which,
I always loved hearing stories about people getting just a little hammered and just trying to put things into soda streams that shouldn't go in them.
such as?
Wine.
I have done that.
Really?
I've done it to get hammered and not to... yeah, I've done white wine in a soda stream a number of times to make budget champagne or sparkling wine, depending on how tied to the EU regulations you are. And it turned out okay, but I have seen the horror video of the red wine.
Yeah, where it was just everywhere.
Yep. exploded.
And then it exploded.
Unfortunately, the soda stream isn't what I'd prefer to do carbonation in, just because it makes it hard to keep the carbonation in the thing.
You don't care if the lid's on tight all the way around,
No,
do
it
you?
doesn't need to be on about
so, yeah.
tight all the way. So let's see if it works with that. And if we get any additional spray.
Good aim.
Thank you. I have 2 eyes.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Bodied.
Wow. Jesus.
Stereo vision working as intended. Oh yeah. You can really see the sides of the hole there. I didn't evenly space them, but yeah, it's that definitely adds something to it. So I think the one thing I have to watch for when doing carboys specifically is to have enough water in here that the pump doesn't run out, and also make sure that it doesn't completely overfill into it. But these are pretty small diameter necks, whereas the kegs will have a mouth that's about the size of the 4-inch interior on there, so that won't be a problem on the kegs themselves. Wow, that was ridiculously easy to do, and is going to save me an assload of time.
So is the aim that you will put this thing on top, like you'll rig up your keg so it's well, I've seen your kegs. They're already vertical, drop down.
Yep.
So the idea is just to install that thing underneath through the bottom, and then just stand it on a block and just let it wash out from the top.
No, the idea is to take the keg and invert it on top of this thing.
I see.
Yeah, that's what the bucket's for.
I thought that the big nipple thing that you have, those big weird like white things you have in your
Oh, those things. Yeah, the fast ferments.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, I wish we could get a shot of that up. But yeah, no, those I will be turning over because they have a very small aperture on the bottom.
Right.
Yeah, for homebrewing myself, I use what's called the fast ferment system, which are these big conical, they're conical fermenters. They hold 5 gallons in a big cone. As Beach called them, my beer nipples.
They look like a big teat.
Yeah. They come down, and then they have a ball valve, and then a tiny collection sort of bulb on the bottom, which the the spent yeast in the shrub settles in, and then you close the ball valve, empty out the yeast, or harvest the yeast if you're so inclined, clean it out, put it back in. Corvus posted one in the chat. Yes, that's exactly it. You put it back in, and then that means you don't have to clean a primary fermenter and a secondary fermenter. So, yeah.
Cool.
Oh, and Arclight found my pump at Princess Auto.
Huh.
You guys are kind of good at that. So I'm going to cut myself another length of pipe without some holes in it here for regular use. And then I think it might be time for us to take a short break.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Let's, where's my pipe? Where's my pipe? All right, and then we'll just give it a mark there. And saw away. There you are.
Cam, would you like a work lamp?
If it's not a huge amount of trouble,
Well,
a
we're gonna
lamp
go to
would be
break.
very nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to break and I'm gonna see what we can do.
Thank you. I really appreciate that offer.
I mean, we've got all these lights.
Yeah.
You can find one there.
You just put a par on it, sure.
Maybe.
All right. Get through that pipe.
Is that really safe?
Is that... Are you fucking sawing right above your femoral artery?
Yes. Yes, I am. It's a very dull saw, if that helps.
No, that means you need to push harder.
That's worse, isn't it?
You shouldn't be pushing on your saw at all, Cam. Pipe. You know what? No.
You can ask for help, Ian. It's okay.
At any time, yes. Teamwork. Don't go away. More Tinker Tailor Stolder Fry after this. Welcome back to Tinker Tailor Soldier Fry, where Cam
Hello.
continues to paint and is doing, wow, some very detailed work there.
Yeah.
Whew.
He's got a little lion on his shoulder pad.
I was catching the little, the groinal flaps. I'm not sure what those are actually called.
Oh yeah, the
Bits of,
Roman things.
yeah. I really like how good it looks headless.
Yeah.
It's kind
I mean,
of fun.
I've got a shield to attach to his right arm, and then I've got to do his tabard or his loincloth thing. But yeah, so far I'm not mad about this. Sporin, groinal flaps, sure.
Groinal flaps. It's coming along. So I guess what we're going to do then is I'm going to Hackintosh a new laptop. Yeah, that's right. Why not? Remember way back in the day when we took this guy, cracked it open, and put an SSD in it? Well, we're going to undo that now. Because I decided that it's time to change laptops and got myself one of these guys, which is a ThinkPad X230. They're basically the same machine in terms of chipsets, but this one weighs almost actually more than a full pound lighter than this one.
Really?
And the battery is not only replaceable, but replaceable with a different battery, which is humongous.
Okay.
But we'll go with this one to start with. So let's first of all see if we can get this sucker to post with EFI and Clover. Arclight Dynamo, Ian says, Ian, the groinal flaps are called pterges.
Oh, okay.
Pterugges.
Groinal flaps it is.
Yep. No silent P. Okay. How to start this?
Power.
Power is a good way to start this.
Here with power cord.
So let's start with bringing up the... Let's get my utilities out here. We're going to need this later. And we're going to need a Mac OS 10 installation stick and an EFI stick. So I've got an EFI backup for my home Hackintosh. Let's see if that will get this sucker to boot.
A mistake has occurred.
Uh-oh.
Not an uh-oh, just like, I'm going to see how this looks. Oh, let me just cover that up.
Actually, Beach, do you think you could take that camera and point it in this direction so that I can show off things? Okay, cool. So as it stands, it thinks that this is a non-system disk, which it should not. So let's press any key to reboot. Nope. I'm 100% certain I have EFI on here, and if it's not, then I'm wrong. Oh, it's booting Kodi now, because I have pulled the drive out of... out of my old media PC. So now you can see thumbnails of things that I used to watch. Let's put that down for the moment. All right, so apparently there is an EFI partition on here. It just might not be configured for what
This is
we
the
want.
time where you figure out that the last time you used any of these laptops you had an NSFW wallpaper on.
Yeah, well, that would be a good time. All right, so I'm going to bring up Safari, my Instapaper, because I've been bookmarking some of these things.
I had a friend who used to work at a computer shop, and he had to put a note on one client's file that says, "Do not turn their computer on facing anywhere a client can see."
That sounds displeasant. Okay, the last couple things I've got on here. There we go. Thankfully, there are some people out there who have done the hard work in terms of figuring out which drivers are necessary to get these things running. But what we'll need is we're going to need to make some changes to the BIOS. We're going to need to make some changes to the EFI partition on this stick so that we can boot it up, and then we'll just take this drive and stick it in there once we know that it's working. All right. So first of all, we're going to need to upgrade our Clover significantly.
What is your Clover?
Clover is the bootloader that has been created to boot Mac OS X. Basically, it's a way of, I don't understand exactly how it works completely, but it is it's a bootloader.
Okay. And it's an official.
Oh, Lord, no.
Okay.
No, this is all very unofficial.
Okay.
You cannot do not install OS X on your PC and expect to get any support from Apple. Desirasta says, "Dear Dr. Ian, have you considered using something like Elementary, which has a similar UX to OS X, or are a lot of the programs you use Mac only?" Yes, a lot of the programs I use are Mac only, and the problem is similar is not the same as, and that's and it's that last 5%.
Apple lost that lawsuit in the 90s.
Yes.
Look and feel.
Yeah, but it's that last 5%. You know, things may look the same or act similar, but that last 2% is where the rubber meets the road for me. So, yeah, most Macs these days run on a very specific set of hardware. Like as Seven Gorobe is saying, a narrow range of CPUs and motherboard chipsets. And so there are certain computers that will work better than others to Hackintosh. You know, some will require more work than others, depending on what you want to purchase. The reason I went with this ThinkPad is that a lot of that hard work has already been done by other people in the community, finding out which drivers are necessary, creating new drivers, and in the case of this one, I will eventually need to swap out the Wi-Fi card, because the Wi-Fi that comes with these is not compatible with OS X, and there is no OS X driver for them. But that's a $30 side grade. So.
Would a nail help, Cameron?
No. I'm already committed. These blades are 5 cents.
Just in case you want to make a round, thin hole. But,
It should be fine.
All right.
Should be fine.
So let's just download this repository. Bleep bloop. No springs.
BM Kid wants to know if you're going to dual boot the laptop or just OS X.
I will definitely end up dual booting it. I dual boot this guy because sometimes I feel like I need to play Magic the Gathering online in airports. I don't think I'm going to try dual booting off the same drive because that's kind of difficult. But this, while it doesn't have a CD drive in it, it does have an M2 slot, which means I can put in an M2 SSD, run Windows off that, and then run OS X off the 2.5 inch.
Actually, Beach, would I be able to bother you for a nail or a pin?
I can help with that.
Oh, thank you.
There's one right here.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome. If anyone's, I notice a lot of people wishing me luck with this particular endeavor. And I've been running a Hackintosh full-time at home for, God, since a year before I moved here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The Wind 100.
The Wind 100 was my first foray into Hackintoshing back in OS 10.6. But no, this was the one I've been running full time. It was a tower that my workplace was disposing of. I thought, well, I mean, if you're just going to throw it away, I'll just grab it and see if I can force OS 10 onto it. Turned out to be a lot easier than I thought, and it worked fantastically up until recently. And the only reason I moved back to 10.12 Sierra, not full high Sierra, is that there's a problem with OS 10 High Sierra and the NVIDIA drivers, and so it just causes huge slowdowns, and there's no known fix because it's not supported. Why not a VM? VMs are not fast enough, and I run OS 10 as my primary system, so why give extra cycles to Windows when I don't need it running underneath? Also, I would rather have my computer be able to talk directly to the hardware. Did I whitelist delete the BIOS? Did you do the whitelist delete BIOS flash? Not yet, CW3040, but that will be part of the things I need to do.
Also, you bought this ThinkPad secondhand, correct?
Yes. Yeah, these, by the way, if you want to try this out yourself, you can have these for under $150 Canadian, and definitely under 150 US. And they're light. They're so light and tiny. Okay. So what we're going to do here first is we've downloaded the repository, the ThinkPad X230 macOS repository from GitHub, and we're going to install Clover, the newest version, onto this USB drive. So that's going to be exciting to see. Let's run an installer.
Riveting content.
Yeah.
Watch a bar fill. Boop, 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 boop.
Ooh, let's make sure I'm installing this on the right disk, too. No, do not install on Ixion.
Good drive name.
Thank you. I've been trying to keep things in what I think would be, how do I put it? What would be in-universe Battlestar Galactica names? And so I think the computer itself was Charon, and the drive is Ixion, and yes, the secondary drive is Charon. Triton was the last other PC I renamed.
I was going to ask if it was, if Ixion was the Centaur or the planet in space above and beyond.
Oh, good lord. I'd forgotten about that show.
I'm sorry.
No, I
mean, it was kind of rad.
I remember it being really good, but kind of disjointed, especially near the end.
Yeah, well, yeah. Where they had, like, no budget, and man, I kind of miss Space Above and Beyond now. I choose to continue I choose not to watch it and believe that it continues to be rad.
We're getting another Stargate movie, too.
Oh,
It's
okay.
apparently going to be a prequel to the movie. So it's sort of like Indiana Jones. I don't know if it's going to be good or not, and I have no hopes whatsoever. Okay, a lot of talk about VMs in the chat there. And Cuttlefish names their devices off of breeds of cow or Jewish philosophers.
So Spinoza and
Holstein.
Spinoza McHolstein.
So yeah, we're just continuing to make little bits of progress here.
Let's see here. How come you won't install to the USB?
I need to figure out what I'm going to do with this guy's sword.
Patterns or?
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be... I'll figure something out.
Seems like a kind of person who keeps their sword nice and clean. So.
Yeah.
Create bootable USB with Unibeast. Oh, fine. All right. First things first, let's copy everything off this drive to this USB drive to the desktop in case everything goes wrong. EFI backup. Sounds good. Copy everything. There's a call to possibly do flames for your sword.
That would be sweet. I don't know if I have the wherewithal. I mean, I suppose it would be a good focal point for it. Serial Experiments Lane. Good convention.
Yeah, that's...
I've taken to recently naming all of my computers after fictional artificial intelligences. Lately, I've been on Culture Minds.
Oh yes, that's a good. That's a good well to draw from.
So my home PC is GCU Total Internal Reflection. My phone is GCU Gray Area.
Good artificial intelligence names. Ted Cruz?
He's not particularly good, though.
Womp womp. I need to log in. If you're looking for good resources for help in doing a Hackintosh, I highly recommend Insanely Mac, is it? Yes, insanelymac.com. It'll probably give you the better answers in terms of how to actually do the nuts and bolts and give you a better understanding of what you're actually doing. If you're just looking for a straight-ahead tutorial that's easy to follow, Tony Mac. TonyMacX86.com is probably the one you want to go with.
Years ago, when I was building my new computer, I was really debating just saying, you know what? I think I'm done with this whole video game thing. I'm going to turn my next PC into a Hackintosh or a Unix box. Because all I need to do is science. And for that, I need an SSH connection and Vim.
Ooh.
That's it. That's all I need. And then I was like, no, that's stupid. I want to play video games. I like video games.
But I'm sure there are games in Vim.
No, there's
Emacs. That's...
Yeah, you can play the game of trying to remember how to turn Vim off.
That's a problem I often have.
You see the memes about is your teen trying to text about X
About,
thing?
yeah,
Oh,
Vim
yeah, yeah.
and Emacs.
And there was one where it was like, is your teen trying to use Vim? No,
Oh,
these
yeah.
signs. And
Yeah, it was like LOL, log out of like.
Yeah, it was like because there was like one that was like ASL, and it was like, move down one line, then do this.
Yeah, then replace all incidences of this with SL.
Yeah.
Move left one cursor.
Like, Vim is a really powerful program that makes no goddamn sense.
It's a reason I install Nano in most machines I run.
Is it like it's not connected to Vine or anything, right? Like I don't know what you're talking about when you say Vim.
Vim is a Unix text editor from like the 60s, basically.
Vi is.
Vi, yes,
yes.
sorry. Vim is the new.
Is Vi improved?
Vim is an acronym for Vim is not Vi.
Every Linux or every GNU user just fucking implodes.
Because we're talking about
Hey.
Vi and not Emacs.
I've warned you, if you're gonna eat candy, you got no mic.
Okay.
So I've turned your mic off and I'm not riding it.
All right. So, well, what first thing we
Like-
got to do?
You can actually tell that Vim was coded by somebody who remembered at kind of random intervals what commands they would need and had to go back and code them in. And just nobody's ever bothered doing it in any like way that makes sense.
Okay. So first thing we're going to do here is we're going to erase this little drive to put the EFI on it. And to do that, we're going to use the terminal, disk util, erase disk, fast32. We have to give it a name, EFI, and then we'll disk 3 is the disk number. We are erasing that now. Erasure has occurred. Well, it's generally usually that easy, isn't it?
A ghost is present.
And then we're going to use Unibeast to make it bootable. Continue. Agree. No disk available to install on. Requires an HFS partition removable disk with at least 7 gigabytes free. Well, that's not this disk. So let's try using my Mac OS X disk. That seems like a bad idea. No, you know what?
You just need like another drive.
Yeah, I just need to install EFI on a drive. Oh, there we go. I can change an install location now. Perfect. Boom. And so we need certain drivers on this one, if I recall correctly.
I mean, InfoSec Taylor Swift the other day posted a picture of somebody leveling like an enormous revolver at a computer, and it was just like, how to log out of Vim.
Let me see here. Drivers. There we go. Oh, I guess we can just do it, we just ignore the drivers. So, install for UEFI booting only, no. Install Clover and ESP, no.
So have you come up with what you want to do with that sword then, Cam?
I'm just painting it as steel.
Oh, good. We have good information from Binaural Stitch that Vim was 1991.
Oh, okay, good.
I'm pretty sure Emacs came first.
Hmm.
And then Vi was programmed as a response to it because it was too hard to use Emacs.
Dear God.
While we're doing this, while it's installing Clover, I suppose we can make the necessary changes to the BIOS. Where's my... There we go. Okay. Let's crack it open and turn it off. And then turn it back on again. And try and figure out how to get to the BIOS. I'm interrupting normal setup. We want to hit F1 to enter the BIOS setup utility. Okay, so we do have a UEFI BIOS on this, which is good because that means we can run the Mac OS. Yeah, this has 8 gigs of RAM and a 2.6 gigahertz Core i5 3rd generation, the 33020M. So, let's get into the config. Network is Wake on LAN. I mean, it's not really supported, so it's not necessary. Configure USB. USB EFI support should be enabled. Always on USB enabled? Sure. Always on USB charge if off mode? Yeah, sure, I'll take that. Let me use this as a power brick. And USB 3.0 mode on? Yes. Cool. Go back. keyboard, mouse, track point enabled, touchpad enabled, good. F and control key swap. I'm kind of tempted to do that because I have a real problem with my finger always going to control when it's F-ing, that F-ing key. F and key lock, nope. Display. Okay, there's only one display. Good. Power, here we go. Intel Speed Step technology enabled. Maximum performance for AC and battery optimized for battery. Cool. Config power Intel Rapid Start technology. Here's no op drives, we don't need to worry about that. CPU power management. Okay, power on with AC attached. Don't want that on. Rapid Start. Okay. That's the one we're curious about. Okay, we're going to disable that because OS X, this particular feature requires a hibernation partition and is not supported by OS X. So that's good to know. Beep and alarm. Password beep disabled. Keyboard beep enabled. Okay. SATA, we wanted an HDI mode. That's necessary for OS X. CPU, multiprocessing enabled and hyperthreading enabled are both good. Date and time are correct. Security. Hey, we got a fingerprint reader in there. I mean, that's not going to be useful in OS X, but I'll keep it.
Did you hear about the version of Doom someone made that the security hole that was discovered a few months ago?
In Doom?
Yeah, the one that basically relied on multiple processes being run out of order on your CPU. They made a version of Doom that made made its own processes run linearly, right? Not out of order.
Okay.
As like a bit of a demonstrator for why this is useful.
Huh.
It rendered 1 frame every 7 hours on a 386 processor.
Oh, and Doom was very, very optimized too, if I recall.
Yeah, I think yeah.
I mean, Carmack, so.
I just thought that was cute. Yeah, Spectre-proof Doom. So, yeah, 0.0003 frames per second.
We're gonna have to disable the security chip on here because we have a modified UEFI. Well, we will have a modified UEFI firmware, so that'll be nice. Go back to UEFI BIOS. We'll do that later. Memory protection should be enabled. That enables NX, which is required for OS X. Security and virtualization should be enabled and enabled. I/O port access, everything seems fine. Anti-theft, apparently is not necessary. Secure boot disabled, platform. Okay, and startup. This is where the other interesting or important thing happens. Security boot.
Sorry, can I get Camtic to say a couple words for a sec?
Hello. I'm testing the mic by squirting air through a hole in the side of my head. And it is making a noise that other people can understand, which is very strange when you think about it.
Cool, thank you.
I can keep talking like this.
You can talk all you want now. I really needed you to say some words for some of the buttons I was pushing.
Oh God.
But I'm done pushing buttons now, so
Oh
at
God.
least for now.
What have you? Footage of Prime Minister emerges.
So we're going to turn UEFI only booting on, just because that'll be less confusion when it comes to boot time. But CSM support has to be turned off, apparently, unless we have a specific CSM video DXE driver in our Clover. And booting quick boot is okay, though I'm going to turn that. Yeah, I'll leave that on for now.
Oh right, I forgot. Nerds love putting Doom on things, don't they?
Almost as much as they love putting Linux on things. Usually one follows the other.
Yeah.
Okay. Exit save and changes. Great. And we'll just power that off for the moment then. Okay, so we should have EFI installed on the drive. I'll keep it. We will not move that to trash.
418 days until the Matrix 20th anniversary? That's not true.
428 days?
418, sorry.
Oh, that's just another year.
Yeah, but the Matrix only came out like 4 or 5 years ago, right?
Yeah, it had to, just around the same time that Full Metal Panic came out.
Yeah.
Yeah. That show that I liked that is now old enough to drive.
Why are you all fucking lying to me like this?
Oh,
Why is it that we don't know what it's like to get old?
excuse me? Oh, why don't we know what it's like to get old? Because we're not allowed to get old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're, as filthy millennials, we,
Are constantly having our childhood sold back to us?
yeah, well, we have to be thought of as youthful. Otherwise, our parents would have to acknowledge the fact that they're getting decrepit.
Oh, and
So
that
we're constantly infantilized.
and that they might have to retire?
Beach,
Mm-hmm.
you no longer get to talk anymore, and you also need to give your mic to Cam.
Ooh.
Because my mic imploded.
Yours keeps cutting out as well, which is an unexpected thing.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, hopefully this gives lots of interesting data for the people who need to troubleshoot what's going on.
Paul is going to have an aneurysm.
I hope not. We really need him.
Mm-hmm.
24th of March, 1999. Yeah, 1999. That's not that long ago.
Okay. So, no. D. Nicosaur, Full Metal Panic is 16 years old, not 20. So now comes one of the fun parts, and by fun I mean really, really effing irritating parts of Hackintoshing, which is the generation of the serial number, board serial number, SMUUID, and SMBIOS. Those are, yeah, difficult. Wi-Fi 45. So, we're going to go up a directory. And then we need to go up a directory. And Wi-Fi 43. And add that there and replace it. Okay, now we're going to use a little code. Right. So, next step is to do the generations.
Oh yeah, Oceanu Sub. The Matrix is a fun movie. It's I don't know if it still holds together, but I remember it being like a really fun, enjoyable movie that I liked. And it kind of had a big impact on filmmaking, at least for a few years.
I think it still, I would say it still does.
Yeah, I mean, probably. That's probably quite accurate to say that it's like Half-Life turns 20?
That's,
What the fuckity? What the
yeah, that makes me.
How old is Half-Life 2 Episode 2?
Open. All right, so we're going to need to generate a serial number. Geez, in SMBIOS. Nope. It's in system parameters. Nope. RT variables. Where are these things anymore?
Have you set your IRQs?
3230M. We're going to make this into a MacBook Pro 10.2. Looks good.
10,2.
Yes, I'm sorry, 10,2.
Really different numbering conventions?
SMUID.
For the leather case for the microphone.
Oh, it was... Where did I put it?
Down here, though, eh? There it is. Thank you.
The studio is dark.
Yeah, doing this... It's been a long time since I've done this. So...
So what are you working on?
Right now, I'm trying to create a system universal unique identifier, which will be necessary to get iMessage working and FaceTime on this.
So you must name your computer.
Yeah. Name it with a special name.
A true name. Yeah, the ending for Matrix Revolutions was so safe. It was so safe. They were like, oh, we've just been retelling the hero's journey this whole time. Remember how we inverted the hero's journey for the first movie? Turns out we've just been telling it again. We didn't know what we were doing. Actually.
That's the saddest part.
Yeah.
But we can't discount them as filmmakers in general, though, because
Oh no, yeah, like their
good.
visual style is fucking tremendous. Also, I need to watch Sense8.
Oh, you really do. Sense8 is...
I've heard it's actually some extraordinarily thoughtful sci-fi.
My poor sweet Sense babies.
Are they getting another season?
No, they're getting a movie to wrap the story up.
Oh.
Which is as much as we can hope for at this point.
Right.
And necessary too, because I want to finish the story of those people. It's rare these days that you get to see a sci-fi show like that where all the characters are good people.
Oh, I like that.
Or at least all the heroes are good people. And there's none of this sort of anti-hero,
right,
dark and gritty. It's a very bright show, I think, which is a fine contrast to bright.
Touche.
Actually, I will put that in there. Great. Okay, I think all of our configurations are good. Let's see if we can get this to boot.
I mean, I kind of fell in love with the idea of the show.
Of Sense8?
Well, the first time I heard the name, and I'm like, oh, well, that's clever in a way that's designed to basically work as a cruise missile directly into my heart. Right? That's a clever name. Yeah, and I've also heard Jupiter Ascending is like a highly entertaining, complete mess.
It is. It's
like one of the bravest complete messes ever made.
Really just a fun romp.
Like a movie that's just not afraid to get out there and be real stupid. and for the most part, it kind of sticks it.
Oh yeah, it goes, and then you just hang on for the ride. All right, I think I'm ready to give this a try.
Like it commits to the bit, I guess.
Okay, friendly machine.
Oh, friend computer.
That's right. Friend computer, come with me on this journey.
Jupiter Ascending was everything I was disappointed Valerian was not. Neat.
Ooh, that's...
Like when you out Besson.
12 USB.
I would not have expected Valerian to be boring, which is kind of like the most common, or the harshest complaint I heard about it.
Ouch.
Was that how did Besson make a boring movie out of this?
Okay, so I guess we didn't get everything on there that we needed to. Why? The difficulties of troubleshooting.
The movie wasn't boring, but every performance was. It's another heartbreaking thing to hear. All right, I get to bust out my favorite pot of paint in existence, just for its name. Flesh wash.
Ah, the
the flesh wash. Maybe this is like outing me as a complete film like noob, but I actually kind of like Steven Soderbergh's Solaris. It was very like, hi, I'm Steven Soderbergh and I don't understand what metaphors are. But it had a lot of really interesting little character touches that I liked, especially from I forget the actor's name, but he played Dr. Snow in Solaris. He was in CQ, and he was Upham in Saving Private Ryan. Jeremy something, I want to say. Anyway, he had a really like interesting little character to play around with, and I really enjoyed that when the main character arrives on the space station and finds it basically abandoned. He like hears this noise and he starts following the noise to where he's hoping to find people, and the noise resolves into an ICP song that's just blasting. It's Riddlebox by Insane Clown Posse.
All right.
And he follows it to its source, and it's this character, Dr. Snow, who is like, oh, hi, and doesn't really say anything to him, which is somehow like the most disconcerting reaction possible to a stranger arriving on a space station. Not being like, oh, new person. He's like, oh, okay, well, whatever. Jeremy Davies.
So there's something that I'm not doing here to make this stick. According to disk utility, my EFI stick is currently not bootable.
That's disconcerting.
Yeah, well that's... I mean, it's something I'm sure we can fix pretty easily. Disk util.
So is bringing a Hackintosh to life one of those experiences where you spend like an hour going like, God damn it, why won't it work? Everything is ruined. This is so awful. Why did I ever bother doing? Oh, that works now.
Yeah, that's
okay, perfect. Okay, good.
That's exactly it. Yeah, it's a lot of time spent, trundling along trying to figure out why is this not working, and then you find one tiny thing, that one letter out of place in a command, and you're good. Oh. Well, that's...
Did that just happen?
No.
Oh, okay.
Let's remove...
I really enjoy those moments.
Okay. We're just going to erase that disk again. Till...
Yeah, that's pretty much all of computing. That was my experience doing undergraduate work. Was like, what? Why is this not compiling? What's wrong? Why is it not doing the? Oh, okay. I'm just stupid. Okay, now it works perfectly, right? Like I forgot that pi was not a defined term. Right?
Oh no.
So it was
And
just being
all.
like the program was being like pi. Well, I don't know what that variable is, so it's 0.
I'll
Right.
continue to function, but...
Yeah, right. And because you can take the sine and cosine of 0 and get different results, right?
But without an error to debug through here, you have no idea what's actually wrong.
So like something like it worked and produced results, right? But
Without checking the results, you have no idea.
yeah, it's just like, what the fuck is going on? Why does my crystal look like this?
New FS underscore HFS dash V EFI.
Who would win? 1 million lines of intricate code or one curly boy?
It's the curly boy.
It's the curly boy.
What channel am I on? I'm going to assume that everyone can hear me.
Can everyone hear Beej?
I'm sure they'll say something.
Ooh, okay. I think I've made progress.
Ah, yes, we can hear Beej.
Lovely.
Everyone loves to hear Beej.
Nobody doesn't love molten boron.
Where do I go to get the molten boron?
That was a Futurama thing, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
It was just one of the like weird interstitial bits.
I saw a message in chat scroll by a few minutes ago that said, ooh, I have one of those USB sticks that Ian is using. I'm not sure it can boot UEFI. Now, here's the thing. I don't know if that's possible. Because it's all flash memory. Why wouldn't it be able to not boot EFI?
I can't think of any reason why it shouldn't either.
Yeah. That just occurred to me as a thing where I was like, there's no reason why that should be true.
And
But somebody says that in chat, and I'm like, I wonder if that is really a thing.
And I've never
yeah.
had that problem before.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a cold open for Futurama.
Okay.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me, but then again, a lot of things with regard to computing don't make sense to me.
Excuse me.
Like, this drive can actually not be formatted in this way. I'd be like, really? That's weird, but okay.
I'll believe you.
See, and now some people saying, I have problems with USB 3 drives not wanting to boot. And I'm like, and that's the thing is when it comes down to like hardware, you always end up in that case where you're like, well, don't use X. Why? Well, because X never works. And then somebody's like, you find 3 people who are like, but X has always worked for me. And they're like, X has never worked for me because my particular configuration of computing equipment does not like X for some reason.
And then there's always somebody being like, you should just install Unix.
Yes.
And you have to like be like,
I had
get out.
So I built a computer for myself a while ago, and perfectly fine. Used it for many years, and then I changed out a motherboard or whatever. And when I came back, like I tried to use it again, I could hit the power switch, it would turn on, but it wouldn't boot. Like, it wouldn't post, it wouldn't do anything. Just everything came on and just sitting there, but nothing happened. I hit the reset switch, and it would boot. And to this day, I don't know why it did that. Because I checked all the positions of all the power switches and everything else, like all the header on the motherboard and everything else, checked all this stuff out, and it would not do that. And so when I changed out all the equipment again and gave it to my parents, like building it into a different machine again, same thing happened. But the first time I assembled everything into this case, if you hit power, it would boot off of being cold. But once I replaced a motherboard after that, and when I did it again, it would never boot.
It would like never make post?
It would never make post until you press the reset button at least once.
That, I want to say that's a short, but I don't know why.
Right?
Like, a short should just be all she wrote, right?
Well, you'd think. Like, well, I mean, when you make an electrical connection between two jumpers, that is technically also shorting a jumper. And I'm like, I wonder if I just had something backwards.
Maybe.
But it didn't seem like it.
Oh, this is the Knight Quester from Games Workshop's Silver Tower box. I'm painting his little head. I've painted it metal. Use a chrome dome, and it will go on top of his body. God, the lens on that's really sharp focus.
Yeah, the cameras can get in there really.
Oh, my
Kind of-
fingernails.
Kind of a lot better than the overhead cam we were using.
Hang on.
I'm kind of happy with how this has come together. Very nice, Beej. Good work.
Thank you.
Nice.
Very nice camera. Good work.
Thank you.
Good job, everyone.
Okay, you know what? I think it's time to commit. Let's attach the head to the man.
Okay.
Or, hold on, no, I'm going to ink his plume, just to give it a bit more depth. The inks the Games Workshop produced in the mid-2000s were such a gift.
How so?
They were just really, like, dense with color, easy to work with. The bottles were basically invincible, so they don't dry out. They're just a really good product, and from what I understand, they don't really make them anymore, which is heartbreaking. And I don't know of any equivalent product.
All right. Try this one more time. Are you gooeyed? Let's try this install again. And if that doesn't work, I'll do it again. And where are you, Clover?
What do you think of that sword?
is some nice texture on it.
Yeah, I think it needs something a bit more. I think it needs something a bit more. Liquid, really, one of the new washes is decent, and one of them is informally referred to as liquid talent. That sounds like something I could use.
Yeah,
that sounds like I mean, that's really what Games Workshop paints should be in the business of doing, right? Making you make their product look good. Everybody kind of wins when your army looks sweet.
All right.
Sorry, Beach, I'm making your life difficult here.
No, actually, you're making me do my job.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah. And right now I'm reading things on my watch instead of doing my job. So
Beach, I told you, no mic.
yeah.
Stop it.
I will stop talking to Beach. I'm sorry.
No. You see, Cam, you can do that. Beach just can't respond.
Wow,
rules.
really?
You have so
This
much
is
power.
awesome. I actually don't know what to do with this now. No idea how to wield this tremendous power I've just been granted.
So maybe I have to use something to a completely different program.
Earth and One suggests you could tell Beach what you think about Nintendo's and Animus.
I don't really watch mangas.
Ooh.
You know, it's not really my thing. But I'm not going to judge you, you know. That's not true. I like the giant robots. I like when the robots punch the thing. I also like it when the big dude punches the other dude so hard he explodes after walking through the building.
Celtic Wolf wants to know if you have any experience basing minis.
Yes, quite a bit. It's a delicate art. A nice base can really set off a miniature, or it can really distract from it. I prefer simple, like flocking and gravel bases, maybe with a little bit of slate. Back when I was doing miniatures, doing 40K, people were just starting to use slate to base minis. Because you can break it up really small and it looks like, you know, like slabs of concrete. Makes for cool effects.
Nice.
I don't know how the critical field has evolved since then, but that gives you a sense of when I was playing.
Cam, do you think it's about time for us to have a short break here?
Sure, why not?
We're going to take a short break to gather our forces, and we'll be back with a bit more painting and a bit more computer BS after this.
All
Don't
right.
go away.
Hold on. I'm just going to quickly cement his head.
Yeah.
Stick the head on.
Using just a little bit of liquid cement, which is fucking terrifying because the brush on this thing is split.
Oh no. Well, I mean that means that means you just have two smaller brushes, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's perfect. It's
That's how it
perfect.
works.
It's totally non-harrowing to use. Okay. So what this does is it just melts the plastic a little bit. And then you attach it in such a way that the cloak blows in the same direction as the
That is a spicy handpiece. Well,
all right.
Well, that then takes us to the outbreak. Don't go away. More figures and more computer BS after these short messages. Welcome back to Tinker Tailor Solder Fry, where I am attempting to create a boot disk for a Hackintosh, which is going swimmingly. And Cam's continuing to paint figures.
Yeah, I am painting miniatures from Games Workshop's Silver Tower.
Ooh.
So this game is a couple of years old now, but it is kind of a successor to Hero Quest, and well, we like that game around here, so we picked it up.
I think it was it a gift or was it
No, we actually went down and bought it ourselves. And then I said I would paint it, and I have been.
It's been going swimmingly. So I'm entering my password.
So if you can decipher those clicks, now you know Ian's password to something.
That's disturbing. There was another paper I was reading the abstract to recently talking about the fact that basically any surface can be a microphone if you have a good enough optical shot of it.
Wasn't there oh yeah. Wasn't that how you could use glass, like you could get you could use a shotgun mic on a window?
Yeah.
To pull noise off of it. The one that I always really liked was the one they talked about a bit in Cryptonomicon, Van Eck Freaking, where you're using an antenna to pick up noise from the video RAM.
Oh.
So you could reconstruct what's on the screen.
Yes.
And I'm like, I don't know if that's real or not, but that's kind of cool.
No, that is, I don't know if that particular method is real, but there are methods of taking things off of a screen just by looking at electrical interference. Yeah, if it keeps me in the mindset that if there's anything that you want to protect information-wise, they already have it.
Van Eck Freaking is very real. Neat.
And horrifying.
I like that. I also like that Stevenson decided to be extra OG and like show off his cred.
Oh yeah.
By spelling it freaking with a PH. So you could tell that no, this is somebody for whom this was a pun on phones.
Oh.
Because hackers use phones.
God, I think
A hacker is somebody who gets free long distance calls. Like,
hey!
What's his ass went to jail for?
Oh yes, Captain Crunch.
Kevin Mitnick.
Mitnick, yeah.
We got a boot to UEFI, so now we can begin the work. Shut her down.
All right, we're done.
Well, that just means we get to start sticking things on here now. Alrighty then. Now we take the handy EFI partition, or the folder, and copy everything over. Replace it all. Wait for it to copy. Wait for it to figure its life out.
We have a clear shot of what you're typing if you
Oh.
have any reason to not.
No, I will let you know if I need you to not look at my hand types. It's just taking its sweet time copying all this sweet EFI junk over. Come on. You said 5 seconds 30 seconds ago.
Time left in install. Less than a minute.
That was my first experience with a SSD, was installing OS X and having it say, estimated time remaining, 40 minutes. and then literally watching the bar just crawl along and be done in 12.
Yep.
Like, oh.
SSDs are really remarkable devices.
Yeah. They also mean you can drop your laptop more safely. Not safely.
But less catastrophically.
Well, I'm beginning to wonder.
Remember, like, the first generation iPods?
Oh,
That
yes.
actually had a real, like,
hard drive in them?
with, like, a spinning platter?
That was kind of horrifying.
Yeah.
On the bottom of this laptop, it's got little buttons in the feet. And my guess, I don't know for sure, but if I was to guess, I would say that these engage a accelerometer in here to park hard drive heads when it's be lifted up.
Oh. Yeah. Neat.
Yeah, these things are just amazingly repairable, which is kind of what drew me to them in the first place. Sorry, you were about to mention something, I think?
I don't remember now.
Oh, well.
Well, Cam, how about you tell me about your favorite Neil Stephenson book?
It's got to be Snow Crash, right? I actually also kind of liked Anathem, but like Snow Crash is kind of OG science fiction. Now it's pretty gross, though. Thinking back on it, there's some real not cool things that happen in that book. And it's like kind of wonderfully juvenile in how energetic his use of language is. But yeah, it's a problematic book, definitely.
It's unfortunate when the book becomes just as problematic as the author does.
Yeah. Has Stevenson done anything bad?
I think Stevenson is safe for the moment.
Okay, that's good.
But no, I have not. I think I started the Baroque cycle.
The Baroque cycle is kinda neat. I don't know if it needed to be 1,000 or 1,500 pages.
It felt like an authorial exercise.
Yeah,
Like he needed to get it out of his system.
yeah. And I mean, like, Cryptonomicon has a lot of also fun parts in it. It also has a lot of, like, tech triumphalism, right? If only we turned everything over to the hackers and the nerds, they would solve all these problems. And in fact, we're going to have an entirely, like, kind of cringeworthy argument between a hacker and a liberal arts professor.
Oh, no.
About how stupid he is.
All right, so now that we've got the EFI bootloader on here, whoopsie, I'll just shut that down. We can start the install of Mac OS X. So we're going to boot from, choose temporary bootloader. Hello. Come on, drives.
Oh yeah, that's right. Neil Stephenson doesn't write endings. His books just kind of stop. He's like, I'm bored of this now. Bye.
We have one, I think, that's more geared towards Ian. They've heard talk about using Plex and FreeNAS. Any tips on setting one up? I'm thinking about using Open Media Vault.
I've never... Now, what would you be using Open Media Vault for? I've never... Beej, do you know about Open Media Vault?
No.
Okay, neither do I. Let me give us a check. Open Media Vault. Media Vault is open. Oh, the Open Network Attached Storage System. Seems fine. They have a website. They have updated things recently. I don't know what they're based off of. Features and plugins. What I've found... Oh, Debian Linux. Okay. So it would be like FreeNAS, except with Debian. So if you have any knowledge of Linux in a particular distribution, stick with what you know. But I've been having good luck with FreeNAS and then running Plex and what do I know? FlexGet on that. Yes. Yeah, as Aaron says, if you've got Plex, you don't necessarily need Open Media Vault. Open Media Vault is probably good if you're going to be running it on a NAS that's only for media. I don't know. I happen to like FreeNAS because it's what I know, and it's what I've put a lot of time into learning. So that would be my suggestion. Hey, look! We have a boot screen. We have mouse support, finally.
Hey.
And we can click the Install macOS High Sierra from Install Disk. And watch it maybe boot. Maybe boot. What we're going to do is once we've got OS X installed on the hard drive itself, then we're going to take the EFI bootloader that we had here and actually install it in the EFI partition on the hard drive, so that we won't need this key to boot up anymore. But yeah, we're creating a RAM disk for var/log. So hey, looking good so far. Actually, once I can guarantee that we can get the install working, what I might do is then swap over to the drive swap itself, because that'll make things nice and quick. We won't need to install anything, we'll just need to install an EFI partition. Come on. You can do it. In the meantime, while we wait for that to figure out its... Oh, we've got movement. Great.
5 meters, man.
They will be coming out of the freaking walls. Let's bring up the iFixit guide for hard drive on a MacBook mid-2012. MacBook Pro mid-2012. There we go. 13-inch unibody, that's me. Let's have a look at the hard drive. Difficulty is moderate. Good, good. Is this still doing its thing? I hope this is still working as it's supposed to. TCH2 XPC or bootstrap check lncom.apple launch. No such file or directory. Okay, there's a lot of errors going on here.
How bad can this go? Like, is it going to go fwap and everything will smell like pennies?
No, if it doesn't work, it's just not going to boot.
Oh, okay.
But it's hard to say here. Launch D, it's still launching things. Oh yeah, it's activating things through legacy APIs. We'll find out soon enough. Beach, would you be so kind as to get for me the green screwdriver case from the area?
What am I even going to do with this guy's shield?
I mean, I guess start with the base color of his armor.
Should it be the armor? I'm just worried it'll look really like...
Or you could have it match his helmet.
Yeah, I think it'll... Actually, I think it needs to be black. I think it needs to be black.
Yeah.
Which is not really what I was hoping for, but
well,
here we are.
For fun, what you could do is put some damage on it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want it to overpower the rest of the miniature.
Mm-hmm.
Ideally, I'd like you have to draw the people don't look at miniatures that much, right? Yeah. You're kind of looking at them from this distance. So they need to be clear as to what they are. Right? And that's really great. Like those HeroQuest minis up there, perfectly clear. They're like, each one's very, 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 like iconic. These ones might be a little over sculpted. They're a little hard to look at sometimes and figure out exactly what's going on with them, which worries me.
Well, this is not going the way I expected it to.
So I'm just going to do this shield black. Like his armor, we'll do lots of highlights on it, give it a lot of depth, but I think it just needs to be black to match his armor.
Right, well, we're going to get into breaking down this guy here.
Did it not end up working?
It's not booting. Let's run it through again, but we'll see if it... I think it said it exited with a code of 1, which generally does not mean good things.
Fail code 1. What does that mean? Fail.
A failure has occurred.
I love the passive voice for computers.
Let's see here. Yep, everything seems mostly correct. Turn it back that way in case anyone has anything they want, or in case we want to check in on the progress bars as it goes along. As we crack this boy open again. It's been a while.
A shield like that. I know I'm not mic'd.
Mm-hmm.
You want to come over here?
Yeah.
I'll let you talk. You just gotta be in the mic, and unfortunately, we're lacking.
Shield like that, you don't paint all at once.
Yeah, a shield like that, you don't need it all at once. A shield like that is like that guy's billboard, essentially.
Yeah,
isn't it? It's
yeah,
like,
yeah. It would
it's
be
announcing
heraldry,
who
right?
I am.
Yeah. So it's got hammers and lightning bolts, right?
Sure, shouldn't literally have a sandwich board on it that says "Eat at Flop Jars." I don't know why I felt like a goblin should be running some sort of a tavern called Flop Jars.
That would be good, wouldn't it?
It'd be open till 4 a.m. It'd be the place you go after you drink, and all the bars have let out. You'd
Sorry.
probably get waffles.
Did you say let out or bled out?
Both.
Okay.
The other day you had a CPU report catastrophic error.
Oh no.
That was a new one. What does that even mean?
Like if a CPU has the ability to report that error,
Yeah,
it can't be that catastrophic.
right. Unless it's the very last thing it does. Oh yeah, Cryptonomicon is very like Silicon Valley libertarian. Right. We should all build our own island off the coast.
Oh
and-
yes,
And without any regulation, then we'll be able to get some real work done. Stupid regulations saying we need to pay people. It would be a tech utopia.
oops, I have
It's like, guys, maybe just,
cool your jets.
yeah, gear down, big rig.
Aha.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna have a pattern for these screws because some of them are long and some of them are not.
I was happy with how she turned out. And this guy I also think looks pretty baller.
Oh yeah. No, he's definitely the crowning achievement with your the fact that you spent the time to paint the pages.
Yeah, like the actual miniature from Games Workshop, like the
I'd forgotten how much of a hack job I did on this.
why is there cardboard inside?
That's so it doesn't flop around.
Monitor not detected is another fun error.
Right, I remember this build. He did this on TTSF.
Is that duct fucking tape?
No, that is gaff tape. It matters. It makes a difference.
He's not wrong.
Okay, time to spudge.
You have your spudger?
Got it here. Now, do I need to remove everything again, or can I get by with just popping things out? Oh, I didn't expect to be back in here.
Sorry, headphone users.
Rip headphone users.
Rip and tear. What are you thinking, Cam?
I just don't know if these colors actually work. But oh well, we're committed now.
I was about to say, it might be a little bit late.
Yeah.
I mean, if you like, you can you can play exclusively as that character.
Oh wow, old school.
Oh, wow.
Those IKEA shelves, or those IKEA display cases, get a
Yup.
lot of use from
Games
the Warhams. I never go there, but I really did like what I guess 4chan/TG board converged on what their collective name would be, which was Fat Guys, right, with the
Fat
slashes.
Guys.
Yeah, Fat TG Guys.
I like it. Oh, hey! Apparently, I didn't leave it long enough.
Oh, well, it figured its life out.
Yeah. Now, how do I get that back in there without having to do everything? Can it just slide in? It cannot just slide in. Well, that's unfortunate.
All right, grats.
Yeah, we're part of the way there. Thankfully, I didn't move the internal SSD, or not SSD, but the laptop thin SSHD.
Got a hybrid.
I didn't realize that was a hybrid. Huh. Hey, this is a
Wait,
better.
a hybrid drive?
Yeah.
Really?
SSHDs were generally like a portion of it, like a couple gigabytes,
Oh.
was set to be.
Could be all the way up to 32. Would be solid state.
Mm-hmm.
And then there'd be like 300 or 500 gigs after that. That's actually spinning disk.
So the idea was that
Weird.
the disk would take care of, hey, all these sectors are
Right.
heavily used. Let's stick them in the on the SSD.
Huh. Well, all right then.
All right, let's just move this installation. Install Mac OS. Boop. Actually, this trackpad is rather not bad.
It can run off either electricity or gasoline.
I'm sorry?
Hybrid drives.
Oh, okay. Perf. I think I made a mistake.
They tried to call them fusion drives.
Not Fusion Drive. Apple Fusion drives were not of the same thing. A Fusion drive from Apple is a logical drive managed by the OS that actually takes an SSD and a spinning disk, and then logically puts them together, and then the firmware decides what goes where on that.
Okay.
And I ran one of those for about I want to say 3. Actually, no, I think I was running one last year, and they were quite good.
Now, I want to watch Office Space again now. PC
load letter.
What the fuck does that mean?
It means you haven't had to.
Do you want to know what it means?
Somebody in chat was actually just talking about it, so I now have the explanation. Paper cassette?
Load letter.
Very clear.
I didn't know what it meant until
Like, I kind of intuited that was out of paper, right?
Yeah.
Load letter, okay, load letter
seems-
size paper, yeah.
All right, we've got the screws out. We've got... We didn't pop the battery. We can avoid popping the battery. Optical is disconnected. Camera cable out of its guard. Oh. That's you.
Sorry, literally waiting for paint to dry. These things happen when you haven't planned ahead or settled on things. I'm pretty sure there's a level of hell where you have to set up network printers all day. And then when you set it up, they buy a new one.
Would like to.
Oh, yeah. I want everyone to appreciate the fact that I have my water glass next to my paint thinner. And I have not once mixed
Not
them
a
up.
single time. I consider that a victory.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, it's all about small victories.
Not once yet.
Ever was not part of that.
Oh shit, I was supposed to set up my dad's printer at Christmas time. He asked me so nicely.
Oh no.
It's February, Cam. It's
I'm
been
a
while.
bad son. I'm actually just a bad child.
Nah.
I have to go and drive someplace
Oh,
tonight.
very far away. Okay, do those come apart?
I'm a bad child. Oh, that's good. That's a new way to feel guilt. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, that one's right there.
You're gonna carry that weight.
Yeah, that one's gonna stick around. He hasn't brought it up yet either.
Oh,
That means he's just
Maybe he's forgotten.
maybe he's just a little hurt.
Cam, you've got a few weeks left before tax time.
Oh,
I suggest getting on that.
Hey, speaking of things that hurt, did you want to hear about how the injury poll's going?
Sure.
love to.
So, our top 2 tied injuries right now are, after heated argument, Ian opens a keg of whoop-ass, and everyone does agree that whoop-ass was the right brand of beer to serve.
Huh.
Along with, over Paul's strenuous objections, the keg washer is tested on the streaming PC. Which, wow, yes, I feel like some of us would get fired for that.
Just a little bit fired.
Next up is, after a shared epiphany, they decide to repaint the moon base by filling a pressurized keg with paint, resulting in a very messy explosion, which if you ever do, you must tell me because I need LT of that.
Yep.
After that, Cam's paint has been laced with a rare poison, and he has to earn the antidote by finishing all the figures before the stream is over. Thankfully,
sounds like a lot
that's
of
not
work.
winged. Next up is Beach gets really enthusiastic and attempts to crush a keg on his forehead, not realizing he should have emptied it first. That sounds like Commodore Hustle Beach. Definitely. And then the last one, riding with 6 votes, Ian begins cleaning a keg and discovers that something does in fact have a taste for blood, and it eats Ian. Just all of him.
That's a
There's some really creative ones on this
Yeah.
one.
well done, everyone. The second time cracking into an Apple product is always the easiest. Well, you're full of
The first time you're like, uh-oh, I'm voiding the warranty.
I'm
This is
full
a
of-
bad idea.
what's that word? Hubris.
Like, wait, Apple engineers aren't fucking special.
Yeah.
I've opened up a lot of computers.
I considered being one until I realized I didn't pay enough and we didn't have an Apple store here.
Oh, so you meant you considered being an Apple employee, not a computer.
Yes, I considered being a computer once until I realized that.
No one will help computer.
Help computer.
Oh my, yeah, you could have been friend computer. Do you think there are people who actually aspire to be that? Like in the sense of childhood dream? Like when you want to be a fire truck?
Who is it that I know that wanted to be a fire truck?
I mean, that was a joke I told.
Yeah, I've heard it mostly referenced as a joke, as opposed to anyone seriously wanting
Right,
that.
it was Cam.
I was like, that's really like a dumb thing to say. Who would have said that? Oh, right.
It me.
It me.
Get out of the way. For whom?
Cameron,
Oh.
Oh, about...
are you making details?
Oh, yeah, I'm just putting a few more shadows into the horsehair plume. Not, I guess this isn't a horsehair plume, but like into his plume. Sorry. Just getting some more shadows. I want it to match the Mistweaver, who has kind of a lot of shadows in hers. Get them on the same focal plane there. Oh, my fingernails. This is so embarrassing.
Oh, right. That's almost all the screws for the CD drive back in. By the way, if anyone's in the market for a slightly opened MacBook Pro from mid-2012,
And how would they contact you?
they shouldn't.
Ah, well then,
I mean, if you really want to buy my laptop, we can work something out. Contact me on Twitter. You shouldn't buy my laptop.
where can
Just
people
write-
find you on Twitter?
Just write bitcoins on it and throw it into the garbage.
We're bad at advertising.
Eh.
Cam, where can people find you on Twitter?
At Unarmed Oracle.
And
All one word.
anywhere else on the internet?
Twitch.tv/Unarmed Oracle, which is where I stream the video games.
What you playing right now?
I've been not really on anything, but I'm thinking about actually picking up The Sims 4
Really?
and playing with dolls.
That?
I was never allowed to play with dolls when I was, that's not really true. I didn't have dolls. I had many friends who had Barbies, and I liked playing with Barbies. It was very domestic. It was weird.
I went to a birthday party of a female friend when I was very young, and she got 2 of the same My Little Pony seahorse, and she gave one to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it was one of my favorite toys growing up for a very long time.
How about you, Ian? Where can people find you on the internet?
People can find me over at twitch.tv/tiltyhouse. That's TILTYHOUSE. And currently, Corey and I are splitting the difference of our streams there. You can watch her play Monster Hunter World usually, as well as Wuppo and other things. She's very diverse in what she's willing to play. And we're still grinding through Yakuza Kiwami. We're just about finished. Our daughter almost loves us.
That's the saddest thing I've ever heard.
We finished. Okay, so we finished.
okay.
You finish a campaign, and where do these? There's that's where the
Don't
screws
misspell Tilty House.
go. Yeah, actually, I believe we.
Do you own Titty House?
I do own Titty House as on Twitch
As a
and
redirect?
.com as well. Yes, I don't think I've set up the redirect yet, but it's. I decided I need to have that.
Yeah, get out in front of that one.
Yeah. Now we finished the main plot of the game, and then the girl who we picked up halfway through, and has been following us around. We took her out for ice cream, and then when we gave her ice cream, above her head was a Haruka's Trust Bar, level D. And then I discovered a new mini game that we had to win to finish.
Wait, I have a very important question about this, because it's clearly letter grading, right?
Yes.
Does that mean your top grade is a triple S?
We're working our way up to an S right now. If she wants triple S, she can.
She can reciprocate maybe a little bit. Maybe she can try. Maybe she can put in some effort too.
Yes. once. For once. Well, no, she actually did really good work for us earlier in the game during the plot portion when we needed to go gamble. And apparently she's either an amazing cheat at dice, trying to find out what's even or odd, or she's just really good with her eyes. Either way, she was fucking unbeatable.
She's just like put her into the casino.
Yeah. And then she's all like, hey, do you play blackjack? Be nice to see you win $250 in blackjack. Like, I have to go find a man and hit him until I get S rank from hitting him. And you want me to play blackjack?
Sorry. I have to go find a man and hit him until everyone appreciates how well I hit that man.
No,
That's essentially what he said.
Your S rank in beating up this one dude.
Specifically until he appreciates how well I've beaten him up.
Wait, he has to give you that rank?
Everywhere?
Yes, that's the Majima everywhere.
Oh, wow.
Man, Yakuza games are kind of fucked up.
Oh, they are so good, Cam.
So you were telling me that these games are basically, they have everything because a lot of people are only allowed to buy one game per year?
That's my theory.
Okay.
I don't know for certain that people can only buy one game per year, but
So every game kind of has to be World of Warcraft?
yeah,
Where you're like, I feel like playing Pokemon tonight in World of Warcraft.
like for salarymen, it's kind of perfect because yeah, they're on that fixed budget from their wives. Which reminds me, yesterday I saw an ad for a new series that's coming out next year, which describes itself as Salaryman Pro Yaku Anime. A salaryman pro baseball anime.
Huh.
And
Is it based on that one Calorie Mate ad? Where those two dudes are like, man, remember when we could have gone pro baseball?
it's the story of a man who is the highest paid player in Japanese pro baseball. And he's always on the lookout to make sure that he always is the highest paid person. So he'll look for new and upcoming players and find a way to challenge them and beat them.
Huh.
Yeah.
That sounds like the kind of thing where you're doomed to failure.
Yeah.
And you have to like deal with that.
Oh, he's definitely in his middle ages. He does not have much time left. It's definitely the kind of story that's well aimed at middle-aged salarymen. I often joked a few years back that what I really wanted was a king of paying taxes djinn, or I wanted more stories about adults doing adult things. And now I'm getting it, apparently. When they're being marketed as literally for old men.
Oh, that's got to feel weird.
No, there's a whole category of it now.
Oh, okay.
Because there's like shonen is like stuff that's marketed towards boys, and shoujo is stuff that's marketed towards girls. There's like there's another category that's older women, and another category that's meant for older men.
And there's the majority category, which is made for lecherous otaku. Or as it's also known, healing anime.
Shots fired.
Why is it called? Is it because it makes you feel a little better?
He's shooting shots at me, just what he's doing.
There's a couple levels there.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, Ian certainly doesn't enjoy Bartender.
That's an instructional anime.
Mom,
Definitely
Dad,
not a
don't.
healing anime.
Don't.
Definitely not how important alcohol is to everything in your life.
Yeah, Seinen and Josei, I believe, are the correct ones for the older market.
Yeah, Seinen, Josei.
I've seen the tags show up for more anime more often lately, which is kind of nice.
It's really the North American market learning more about the Japanese market. You know, we finally get to the point where it used to be that good otaku would consume everything that came out because there wasn't that much that was brought over.
Or would you say that maybe they are actually marketing more towards not just children and TV within the North American market?
Definitely within the North American market. It's an interesting, the Japanese animation industry and how it relates to North America specifically is, I find, fascinating, because it's a product that was never meant for export, that just kind of got pulled along and is now responsible for the export market is responsible for a very large chunk of the
So I need to figure
Japanese
out what to
innovation
do with
market.
this shield. It's kind of gaudy.
Hey, okay, so the installation didn't actually happen, but that's okay because we may not need it. Let's see, we've got time. We do have time to get the drive into this little guy. I guess I should boot up the other one and make sure that it's still good to function. Yep.
Yep.
Okay, there's the sound of the
I've not heard that noise.
CD
in a while.
drive. Yeah, I don't miss it.
Can you tilt the screen just a little?
Merp.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh no, I made a mistake. Well, not technically a mistake, but
Emotionally?
yeah, sure. I am a mistake. So the drive that's been booting up to so far has been a 32 gig SSD that I pulled out of my old, as I said before, my old media PC. But the drive was too big to fit in the slot, so I just removed the casing. So that's what the inside of an SSD looks like. Not sure if you want to get that on the big screen. There you go. Ooh. It's a Phison.
I remember when we did that for, well, Matt's SSD didn't have a case.
Oh, really?
It was just like this. It was like it was a ludicrously large SSD in a strip like that long.
Yeah, NVM.
Yeah, it was. He was like, "This is like a couple of terabytes," and I'm like, "Well, that's clearly a lie." But sure, Matt. And it was.
NVM, never mind. Okay, that is in there. Good. And let's pop the case back on. I might need to add some padding in there too so it doesn't rattle around all the time, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. All right, so the hypothesis is this should, if we boot up off the stick, it should boot directly in to Mac OS X. Let's see how it works. Okay. Nope, that seemed, wait, there we go. Boot from recovery, boot file vault preloader. Oh. We're gonna have to boot file vault because I've encrypted some things.
Change off this. There we go.
No, I'm on it.
It's an old password, sir, but it checks out.
That's pretty cool, old school. What should I paint after this? Once I finish this miniature, which one should I move on to? There's like,
You want just some mooks, or do you want to like?
well, like I should finish the heroes, like at least one other hero, so at least we have 4.
Right.
So I've got the barbarian. I've got the dwarven barbarian, the dwarven slayer. And I've got the elven rogue.
Whew, the elves sound spindly.
Yeah, like that's, the elven rogue is very like Hellraiser.
Which one was this one again?
That's the main villain.
Okay. I mean, we almost have enough for a party, but I do like the feathers and the cape of the villain.
Yeah, that, I mean, the villain is a servant of the chaos god Zeech. So they're very like colorful and not deliberately flamboyant, but just kind of like that's just the way they go. I kind of want to do the Dwarven Slayer just because I like the idea of dwarf slayers. Dwarven slayers are dwarves that have transgressed their honor in some way. They've committed an unforgivable trespass, and so they commit themselves to the path of the Slayer, where they forsake all armor and possessions and family, and go out and try to find big monsters and try to kill them or die doing so. Which is the only service they can now render into the world, since they have so clearly dishonored themselves.
That is an odd thing for a dwarf, but I like it.
Do it.
Yeah.
Follow your heart.
Well,
Yeah.
Or your paintbrushes.
I think we're out for the stream, though, because I've, it looks like I have ruined 2 computers.
Correction. 2 perfectly good jackets.
No, this one is going to be a, there's going to be a little bit of work to do on it for a while.
Wow.
I forgot that I had File Vault turned on for my, on my disk, which is the whole disk encryption, because I was going to America, and no, you don't want to not have that.
True.
So, but I did take a backup last night before I did anything to the computer. So this will be an easy fix. Reinstall and restore from backup. No problems there. So I guess that's a mild success, and this one I guess is just a straight reinstall because it's going back to the farm where it came from. No, literally, it came from a Hutterite man who refurbishes Apple machines.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
So that'll be good. I mean, I won't be giving it directly back to him, but it's a turn of phrase.
Right.
So I think that brings us to the end of the show.
All
To a
right.
good place.
Let's, I guess, do we thank subs now?
Yeah, I think we've mentioned where we came from. We should, we should definitely talk to our subs specifically and say their names. Heather, who are our illustrious subs today?
Well. There.
We'll start with the Maricat, who subscribed for 17 months. DIY dishwasher, that seems safe. It was!
It was.
I forgot we succeeded in that.
Lurker Spine has reset for the 34th month. The new dip method uses a keg washer. Like to see that one.
WJMCK Wujimik for 17 months. That's almost 2 years. Until it is.
The Dead Virgin is resubbed for the 12th month. Can you believe it's been a year? I can't. It seems like just yesterday I subbed for the Doom Talking Sim. Here's to a great year of lure streams and many more. That was a year ago?
Wow.
Wow.
Pondering Elephant has subscribed for 53 months. Lots of months. Accurate.
Viral Stitch is resubbed for the 8th month. Ever forward to Subchild.
Pseudonym Ken has subscribed for 21 months. This sub brought to you by my laughter at Cam's face during the ball washing aperture. Oh, that was good times.
Steel Fox 13 is resubbed for the 2nd month. Welcome back, Steel Fox.
Downrange Spy is a new subscriber. Thank you for subscribing to our channel. We are happy to have you here.
Shiroto has resubbed for the 8th month. Yay! Finally managed to catch TTSF live for once.
I'm glad you got that. I would have pronounced that Sharto by mistake.
They might not have resubbed.
Yeah, Docs, Arbosa is a brand new subscriber. Thank you, Edox, and welcome.
Havoc 4 is resubbed for the 50th month, saying hello, craft persons.
Hello to you.
Hello to you, craftspeople.
Variable has subscribed for 49 months. Thank you for your continued support.
Jigokuru has resubbed for the 21st month, saying how cool would a Warhammer anime be? Well, probably terrible, but the potential, I know.
I think Jestel has subscribed for 11 months. Thank you.
Musical Pulse has resubbed for the 2nd month. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming back.
It's the Texan Reverend for 22 months. Both of you fine gentlemen do terrific work and are kind humans. I just want to make sure y'all are aware that you are appreciated. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. We appreciate you too,
Wonderful
Texan.
kind words.
Larconis is resubbed for the 23rd month. Tinker Tailing Solder sub. Just 1 more month to 2 more years.
Make it happen. Octonomicon has subscribed for 3 months. Learning by doing. Hey, someone was in 4-H.
The Nerd Wonder is resubbed for the 2nd month. Welcome back. Thank you for coming back.
Tricky has subscribed for 5 months. I got a notification this morning that my copy of Kingdom Death Monster shipped. Lots of mini painting in my future, too. Ooh, remember the dip technique.
Hi, Horner is a brand new subscriber. Gift by Rock Pusher.
Part of that is a lie, but thank you so much, Rock Pusher, for that sub.
We have good emotes.
We do.
And for 168 bits, thank you to Snowbound and Earthen One. Much appreciated.
We appreciate
Every
all
bit.
of it. Every bit of those bits. And we'd like to thank everyone who has already subscribed here at twitch.tv and everyone who's currently also a subscriber over at the Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. What you do helps us keep doing what we do because it keeps the lights on and keeps food in our bellies and internet in our pipes. Heather, what's coming up next?
Oh, we have a lot of shows this week. Let's start with this one.
It's Mine O'Clock. It's on Wednesday. It's at 9 a.m. PST, and it's James playing Minecraft, probably in Snorshland again. It happens.
On Let's Know, Ben and Alex will be playing Alone in the Dark, the new Nightmare.
Then Cam and I return with Corey and James to do another round of AFK Risk Legacy. Cam statistically is going to win. It's going to be fun, though.
18 Games and Counting is coming up on Thursday morning, where James and Paul play whatever is the 18th most popular game on Twitch.
And then following that is LRRMTG, where LRRMTGs. It's going to be drafts.
And on Talking Simulator, Alex and I will be playing episode 2 of Life is Strange Before the Storm. We're going to be cool. We have to be cool.
Be cool.
We have to be cool. We have to be cool. Say something cool.
Then it's now Kiss. Do you have words to say about Doki Doki Literature Club?
So far, it's been very cute. I assume everyone will have a very good time in Doki Doki Literature Club. Don't watch this if you have any concerns about things. It's about to get real bad.
If you're worried this game might upset you,
game.
it will upset you, and do not watch.
Yeah.
Then the crapshoot happens, where the crew makes a crap shot. Live, from beginning to end.
No, we changed up that formula.
Oh, right, yeah.
We're doing a filming one this week.
We wrote a bunch of scripts last week, and on this week we'll be filming a bunch of them.
Okay, so watch them make a crap shot from middle to slightly farther along in the middle of the process.
On Lure MTG this week, we're playing Paper Magic on Friday evening, where we will be putting the dual decks from the Dual Deck Anthology into a blender and fighting them.
These ones will be the tribal decks,
Yeah, these are the tribal decks.
And then also the thrilling conclusion of who will go up against last week's winner, Kathleen.
Kathleen on the Liliana deck. Yeah. So it'll be Elves versus Goblins, then Divine versus Demonic, then the winner of those two will go on to the semifinal, and then from that, someone will battle Kathleen.
Yeah. Then on Saturday, it's going to be, I don't know what's up with Adam, but I do know for a fact that Loading Ready Live will be making its triumphant return. Every 2 weeks it's triumphant. You can't stop it. And then on Sunday, Rhythm Cafe, we'll be doing Donkey Konga 3. I am really excited because that was a Japanese-only release, and you know I love me some J-pop. And that's the streaming schedule for the next week. Go to loadingreadyrun.com for all the great shows, both pre-recorded and streamed, and check out our schedule there. Otherwise, that ends our broadcast day. Thank you so much again for tuning in and watching us, and we will see you in Actually, no, I'll be gone in 2 weeks.
Well, thank you for having me on.
Oh, thank you for joining.
I love being on the stream.
It's always a pleasure to have you here, Cam. I think you're still the #1, especially in terms of repeat visitors. So.
Well, it's my pleasure.
Let's keep it up. See you guys next time. Ever forward.
Never learning.